Ever walked away from a conversation feeling utterly drained, like you just ran a marathon you did not sign up for? That persistent knot in your stomach, the relentless replay of every sharp word, the gnawing frustration of being completely misunderstood. We have all been there. Perhaps it was a family dinner that unexpectedly devolved into a shouting match over a trivial matter. A critical work meeting where your brilliant, carefully crafted idea was immediately shot down with a dismissive wave, or even a seemingly casual chat that spiraled into an unforeseen and uncomfortable conflict. The emotional toll of these unproductive arguments can be immense, leaving us feeling unheard, disrespected, and utterly exhausted, often long after the words have faded. What if I told you there is a profound way to navigate these verbal minefields, not just unscathed, but actually effective? To argue less and persuade more, transforming confrontational exchanges into constructive dialogues. And that the secret lies not in some modern communication guru's latest book, but in a 190th century philosopher's forgotten playbook, a manual for intellectual combat that remains startlingly relevant today. If that feeling of conversational exhaustion hits home, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. It helps this crucial message reach more people who might be struggling just like you, trapped in cycles of unproductive debate. And while you are at it, leave a comment below sharing your worst argument experience, because we are all in this together, seeking better ways to connect. Do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss out on more insights like this. Because if debates drain you, one 190th century playbook can flip the script without being manipulative or disingenuous. Arthur Schopenhauer, often painted by history as a brooding pessimist, a philosopher of despair, was also, crucially, a shrewd and unparalleled observer of human nature. He saw with piercing clarity how often arguments devolved into ego battles, contests of wills, rather than productive exchanges aimed at truth or mutual understanding. He meticulously catalogued the myriad tactics people employ to win arguments, even when they are demonstrably wrong, even when they know they are wrong. But his profound insights, originally intended to expose the sophistry of his time, can be flipped. We can use them not to manipulate or deceive, but to understand the underlying dynamics of human interaction, to disarm aggressive rhetoric, and ultimately to genuinely persuade and foster more meaningful communication. Let us dive into his practical, timeless tactics. First, let us talk about frame control. Imagine Sarah, a brilliant and innovative project manager who frequently felt her groundbreaking ideas were dismissed before they even received a fair hearing. She would propose a new, streamlined solution for a complex workflow, and her boss, Mr. Henderson, would immediately frame it as too complex or too much of a deviation from standard procedure. Sarah would then find herself on the defensive, expending valuable energy trying to justify every minute detail, explaining away the perceived complexity, only to see her idea shelved, often without a second thought. The frustration was palpable. She felt like she was perpetually playing defense, reacting to a narrative already set against her. Schopenhauer would have recognized this scenario immediately as a battle for the frame. Mr. Henderson was expertly setting the terms of the discussion, establishing the initial lens through which Sarah's idea would be viewed. Complex, deviation, and Sarah, in her earnest attempt to defend, was unwittingly accepting those very terms, allowing the conversation to unfold on Mr. Henderson's chosen ground. The key here, Schopenhauer would argue, is to reframe. Instead of saying, "It is not that complex," which still keeps you trapped within his negative frame, you could say, "I understand your concern about complexity, Mr. Henderson, and I appreciate your diligence. However, let us frame this not as a deviation, but as an opportunity for strategic optimization that will yield significant long-term benefits." Or, "This is not about adding complexity, it is about streamlining our future workflow and enhancing our competitive edge." Notice the subtle yet powerful shift? You are not denying his frame outright. You are acknowledging it, validating his concern, then immediately pivoting to your desired frame, a positive and proactive one. You are changing the lens through which the idea is viewed, forcing him to engage with your terms. Sarah, after learning this, started implementing it. The next time Mr. Henderson reflexively said, "Too risky," she calmly replied, I appreciate your unwavering focus on risk mitigation, Mr. Henderson, which is vital for our team. But let us consider this proposal not as a mere risk, but as a calculated investment in market leadership and a proactive step towards securing our future position. The conversation immediately shifted. Mr. Henderson was now compelled to engage with concepts like investment and market leadership, not just risk. Sarah felt a surge of empowerment, realizing she could guide the discussion, not just react to it, leading to more productive outcomes. Next, we have contradicting generalizations. Think about a common, infuriating scenario. Your family member sighs dramatically and declares, "You always leave your dirty dishes in the sink." Or a colleague, exasperated, announces, "Our team never meets deadlines on time. It is a constant struggle." How does that make you feel? Usually a powerful wave of defensiveness, perhaps even a surge of anger, because you know deep down that it is not entirely or even mostly true. Generalizations are, at their core, lazy arguments. They are emotionally charged, designed to provoke a reaction, and rarely, if ever, accurate. Schopenhauer understood that broad, sweeping statements are inherently weak points in any argument. When someone resorts to always or never, they are, in essence, inviting you to find the exception, to expose the flaw in their oversimplification. Instead of getting defensive, which only validates their emotional premise, calmly ask, "Always? Can you give me a specific example from this week where I left dishes in the sink?" Or never. "What about that critical project we delivered ahead of schedule last month, the one that received client accolades?" This is not about nitpicking or being pedantic. It is about forcing precision. It disarms the emotional charge of the generalization and brings the conversation back to verifiable facts, which are much harder to argue against. The sting of an unfair, emotionally loaded accusation can be quickly diffused by simply and calmly asking for the evidence. You shift the dynamic from an emotional battle to a factual discussion, and suddenly the air clears, allowing for a more rational exchange. Our third tactic is the strategic silence. Have you ever been in a heated discussion where someone throws out an outrageous, perhaps even personally offensive claim or a direct attack, and your immediate visceral instinct is to retort, to fill the uncomfortable silence, to defend yourself with equal fervor? It is a natural, almost primal human impulse to react. But Schopenhauer, with his keen understanding of human psychology, understood the profound, almost unsettling power of not speaking. Strategic silence creates a vacuum, a conversational void that the other person often feels compelled to fill, sometimes revealing their true intentions, their underlying insecurities, or even contradicting their own previous statements. When an accusation is hurled, or a ridiculous, unfounded statement is made, instead of reacting immediately, just pause. Let the statement hang in the air, suspended between you. Maintain direct, unwavering eye contact. The urge to lash out, to defend, to explain will be incredibly strong, almost overwhelming. But the discipline to hold back can be incredibly effective. Often the other person, uncomfortable with the quiet, will elaborate, backtrack, qualify their statement, or even contradict themselves simply because they are uneasy with the silence and the implied challenge it presents. Or they will feel the pressure to justify their own words, inadvertently giving you more information, more insight into their perspective than you would have ever gotten by immediately engaging in a verbal volley. This is not about being passive-aggressive or manipulative. It is about allowing the other person's own words and discomfort to expose their flaws, or simply giving them the necessary space to reconsider their position without direct confrontation. The surprising revelation or shift in dynamic that follows can be incredibly insightful and beneficial to the conversation's trajectory. Finally, consider the art of conceding minor to win major. Let us say you are debating a significant decision at work, perhaps the implementation of a new company-wide software system. Your colleague, Mark, vehemently disagrees with one small, almost insignificant aspect of the plan, perhaps the specific font choice in the user interface, while you are focused on the monumental overall efficiency gains and cost savings for the entire company that the software will bring. Your ego, that natural human desire to be right about everything, might tell you to defend every single design choice, every minor detail. But Schopenhauer recognized that sometimes Winning a small, inconsequential battle means ultimately losing the much larger, more important war. Conceding a minor, less important point can be a powerful strategic move. It can build goodwill, demonstrate reasonableness and flexibility, and crucially, clear the path to securing what truly matters. If the font choice is genuinely minor to the overall success and functionality of the software, you might say, "You know what, Mark? You are absolutely right. That font is a bit dated, and user experience is paramount. Let us definitely go with the cleaner, more modern one you suggested. Your attention to detail is commendable. Now about the training rollout plan that will save us thousands of hours in manual data entry and significantly boost productivity." You have given them a win on a low-stakes issue, making them feel heard, respected, and valued. This makes them significantly more receptive and open to your larger, more critical points, as their defensiveness has been lowered. It is not weakness, it is strategic generosity, a calculated investment in rapport. The internal struggle to let go of a point, to swallow your pride, is real, but the relief of finding common ground and the profound satisfaction of achieving your main, overarching goal are far more rewarding and impactful. These are not tricks to manipulate people, to coerce them into agreement against their will. They are fundamentally powerful tools for understanding the intricate dynamics of an argument and redirecting it towards a more productive, constructive outcome. It is about shifting from a combative, win-lose mindset to a collaborative, problem-solving one, even when there is significant disagreement. Imagine your conversations no longer ending in frustration, resentment, or emotional exhaustion, but in clarity, mutual understanding, or even just a clearer understanding of where each party stands. The emotional truth here is profound. You move from feeling like a helpless victim of endless, draining debates to becoming a confident, capable architect of constructive dialogue. You gain control not over others, but over your own reactions, your own emotional state, and the ultimate direction of the conversation. So how do you put this into practical, everyday use? I have distilled these powerful insights into a simple, actionable 3-step conversation prep card you can use before any potentially difficult or high-stakes discussion. 1. Identify the core goal. Before you even open your mouth, ask yourself, what is the one thing you absolutely need to achieve or communicate in this conversation? What is the major win you are truly aiming for, beyond just being right? 2. Anticipate frames and generalizations. Think ahead. How might the other person frame the issue? What broad, sweeping, or emotionally charged statements might they use? Prepare your reframes in advance and formulate specific, fact-based counter-questions to their generalizations. 3. Spot concession opportunities. Consider what minor points, if any, you are genuinely willing to concede. What are the low-stakes issues you can give on to build rapport, demonstrate flexibility, or clear the path for your core goal? Keep this mental card in your mind, or even physically write it down before your next challenging conversation. It transforms reactive arguing into proactive, strategic persuasion, allowing you to approach discussions with purpose and confidence. Mastering these tactics takes consistent practice, self-awareness, and a willingness to observe human behavior with a critical eye, much like Schopenhauer himself. But the payoff is immense: significantly less stress, greater influence in your personal and professional life, and genuinely better, more authentic relationships built on understanding rather than conflict. If you found this video helpful and insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who desperately needs to hear this message, and do not forget to subscribe for more content that empowers you to live a more intentional, effective, and less stressful life. What is one Schopenhauer tactic you are going to try this week in your own conversations? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, choose your battles wisely and persuade with purpose.